I think we're good. Yes, test two. I think we're good. All right, we're good. We're good, I think. Yeah, we're good. Anyway, hello everybody. It's Draken Knight, and welcome back to Roleplay Storytime. I just want to apologize ahead of time if I sound congested. Uh, I have been around people who have a cold, and I'm starting to catch it, but don't have it yet. It's just a runny nose right now, but him. I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. Anyway, today I'm going to tell a little story about our character here, his origin. Before we continue the original story, where we left off on episode, what is it, 6, 7? I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, we're going to tell the story of our lovely hero here. Right now, he's a teenager. And yes, this is Xenoverse 1, but it's only appropriate. I would have liked a multi-lobby, even though they're empty as heck, but it's a pain to get a multi-lobby on the servers anymore. Given, hardly anyone plays Xenoverse 1 anymore. Where, when I used to play it, it was back on the 360, and the game was like always jam-packed. This actually used to be my little hangout spot right here at this bench. I always like to sit here. Anyway, so our lovely character Draka here, full-blooded Saiyan and son of the Saiyans known as, let me get it back here, Daiko and Bizuna? It's something like that. Bizuna, something like that. Full-blooded Saiyans who are time patrollers and guardians of time for the Supreme Kai. So her closest and most elite members, aside from Trunks. So a little backstory on them. Daiko was a surviving Saiyan from planet Vegeta. And him and his brother escaped, going to planet Absalon. And he got sent away from planet Absalon by his brother so that he wouldn't be put to death for... It was like a commanding officer type ordeal thing, because the brother got made a general. Something like that. So, yeah, our lovely characters like a descendant of Absalon and Planet Vegeta. But anyway, he ended up saved by Supreme Kai when he was found in space. And he ended up getting recruited and living in Kanton. And the dear mom, Bizuna, was a poor girl, obviously, living out here, training out in the wilderness, which would technically be on Xeno 2's mushroom wilderness that you always see me hanging around. Anyway, both ended up never finishing the academy. Both were mentored by Vegeta, who, by his good mercy and goodwill, took them in as students after they were basically robbed people for a while. And the mom ended up going to God Key. Like, she's God Key, where the dad went primal and ended up going to Super Saiyan 5. Anyway. Basically, what happens is eventually they, sometime after having our dear boy here, they obviously work a lot. You know, they go on a lot of mission stuff given their rank and everything. And our hero hardly ever sees them, right? Well, when he was like about 15, 16, the last time he ever sees his parents is through a hollow vid type feed camera thing. Basically what the equivalent of like a Skype call or something. Let's just call it that. Anyway. And they're preparing to go to a war. And he doesn't know what kind of war. He just knows that they're getting ready for a war the next day. And it might be a while before he sees them. Well, months end up going by. And there's no word from them. Like, no one knows what happened to them. No one knows they're dead. You know, no one tells our lovely hero, you know. And because of that, he also ends up getting kicked out of his home because, you know, no one's able to pay the bills and he's still just a student in the academy. Before I get too much more into that, I should probably explain more. While at it, I'll give us some battles so that we have something to look at. So, at the time, our dear boy was basically the runt of the litter. Because, as y'all know, he has... Have I got to that point yet? No, I have not. I can't say that because, you know, spoiler. Or I could and just tell you now, spoiler warning, but I just won't. Anyway, he... I will show you the true power of a Saiyan! He basically never hit Super Saiyan until like his very early 20s. Around the time he would be fighting to, you know, here on Demigirl. So, he's never been able to go Super Saiyan. He was always the weakest of his class. And he struggled. He did well in studies, but like combat-wise, he was one of the weaker Saiyans. And during the exams, he never expected to really get recruited, especially mentored by Vegeta of all people. Let's go here. Anyway. Vegeta, who had obviously mentored his parents, took him in because he saw potential, because he knew who the parents were. And unknowingly to our hero, his parents asked Vegeta and Stream Guy both to whatever happened to him, basically look after him for them. And pretty much raise him like his own. So that's a secret reason why. Anyway, because he gets kicked out of his home, our hero ends up living off in the streets for pretty much the rest of his life. Most of it. Like, because, you know, he's a kid still. He can't get a job yet. He's not fully recruited into Time Patrol. So he doesn't exactly make much money. What he does make, you know, he's still in school. So all he really can do is get some things to eat. Maybe, you know, he roughs it, basically. You know, he washes his stuff and bathes, but it wasn't all that bad for him, because, the Supreme Kai would, you know, have him crash his place sometimes, like on her couch, but most of the time he slept in the alleyways and the streets, and Trunks would leave him food or something. You know, he'd leave him breakfast or something. Kind of like a breakfast McDonald's thing, you know. He'd leave him breakfast. But anyway, yeah, months going into years go by, and our poor hero never, you know, he never hears anything, like why his parents are gone, what happened to him, nothing. So he's being trained by Vegeta, has no idea, you know, what happened to his parents. And, All right. He basically, eventually he goes out of the academy, and one of the first assignments he's ever assigned is guard duty. Right? What a way to start your life in Time Patrol, guard duty. Because once he gets like old enough, he literally fully enrolls and joins Time Patrol. So the first duty he has is guard duty, and it's the Supreme Kai of China's Chambers. So he literally looks after Supreme Kai, kind of like Guardians of Time would, but it's like a rookie job. Because, you know, gotta start the rookies out small. Anyway. Oh, hold on here. Come on. Crap. Usually that works. Anyway. So basically, after joining that, he went on to, you know, I'll let this happen because it's pretty much accurate anyway. And I apologize if I'm like not making sense. I had this more fleshed out in my head. It's just weirder when you say it out loud. Anyway. So, yeah. He basically is living on the streets. He hangs out by the waterfall a lot. That's where he'd most of the time stand. You all know which waterfall I'm talking about by now, I'd hope. And during his time in Time Patrol, as we all know, the story of, you know, Xeno 1 with Demigod and all that, over time as he goes, he becomes like partners with Trunks, trains with Vegeta, learns to become Super Saiyan 2 and so on, kind of 3 in God. But that's getting a little ahead. Anyway, after the whole fight with Demigra, because I'm not going to go into all of that, he ends up, obviously, you know, being called the hero of Toki City, blah, blah, blah. And he ends up spending time with Goku and them afterwards. Like, he legit goes and hangs out with Earth Goku, becomes friends with them and Vegeta, starts training with the other Z Fighters and them. And during that time, Goku was still married to Chi-Chi. Because in this roleplay, he ends up getting divorced to Chi-Chi and married 18, but... Anyway, during this time, he was still married to Chi-Chi, and he ends up having dinner one night before they get divorced with them. And Goku was kind of like a mentor, family member, and throughout time, you know, he also ends up meeting Broly, Super Broly, and befriending him. That's why they're so close. In the roleplay, because early in his years, leading into like, you know, Mira and Toa and Xeno 2, just a little around the time, I want to say. Again, time frame, I didn't think this far ahead, but as far as like all the way into adulthood, but it's more or less the fleshed out version of it. Yeah. He becomes friends with Broly and so on. And they end up becoming like real close brothers until, you know, you kind of know the whole Vampa thing and all that. You've all heard that part before. Anyway, during his teen years, he used to train with his good buddy Aaron, along with Vegeta and them, who, I will say this, you all remember him from the former role play, I'm sure. At least I hope so. You'll see him again, sure enough. I'll tell you that. Not much of a spoiler, because I'm not going to say when and so on, but you will see him. Trying to think what else I can tell about the parents. Sorry, I was typing something. Did not mean to hit retry, but you know what? Let's just go with it. Anyway. Trying to think of what else I can tell about the parents, because this is a Origins type deal. Right. I guess I could explain a little more of the relationship they have with different guys. Anyway, our lovely hero's parents were actually quite famous in Kanton, believe it or not. They were like, they had medals and everything, like the highest of honor kind of things almost. They were literally almost family with Corona. Konoha? I still can't pronounce her name for right. I don't know. Anyway. They were like some of the best operatives, like Trunks and them she had, along with Goku and them. And they served with Xeno Goku and them. I won't say much about that relationship though, because I don't want to give too much about that, because again, that'll be spoiler. We'll get to that point soon enough, I promise. We're not that far from that. Ain't much I can tell anyway. Well, give a little more detailing on. Dang it, I keep doing it. Anyway, I'm really trying to think of what else I can tell here, because a lot of it's spoiler related, and I don't want to give spoilers. Because I don't want to ruin that, especially when we're getting close to the a little more in-depth point of that too, explaining that backstory a bit more. I guess all I can really say is, pretty much through his years of training Vegeta, he grew up almost father-like bond with him. You know, because Vegeta was, while he's harsh, as you've seen already with like Fu and them, he's also caring a bit. Like, he treats our lovely hero here like one of his own kids, almost. Because, like, you know, our hero's parents meant a lot to, like, Vegeta and Supreme Kai and a lot of other people. Like, the mom was known for her cooking and very, very emotional but sweet. Dad was training a lot. He was more of the, how to put it, kind of Vegeta-ish, like seriousness, but not as harsh and cold seeming. Not really sure how to describe him. But I'm losing my train of thought, bear with me. Before passing, he learned, right, our hero actually learned part of his cooking skills from his mom, believe it or not. So he had some idea how to cook, but not much. Like, it was limited. The rest he ended up being self-taught. He wasn't completely bad off. Ugh, sorry. I had a little yawn there. Anyway. He had like a sleeping bag he bought himself and like a camp shower or stuff like that that he used to, you know, bathe, and he'd clean his stuff, like his clothes and all that, his armor. So he wasn't horrible, and it's not that he didn't have place to go, because if he had asked, obviously, you know, Balma or somebody would have let him stay with them. Even Spring Kai. It was more of a... sorry. Again. It was more of a self-choice, because he always felt... He was very shy, very... almost kind of quiet, but, you know... He always felt like he was intruding if he stayed at someone else's place, almost, you could say. So he, you know, he never bothered that stuff. Hi. Xeno 1 dialogue. I love it. Anyway. Um, there ain't a whole lot more I can tell, so I'll try to wrap this up real quick. Because I don't want to bore people with this video here. To really make it, bring this story to an end here, you all know our dude ends up going on to be the content of hero and so on. And you're seeing currently what happens after all that. But basically in his origins, he had a bit of a rough start. Like, he was very weak in the academy. He had a low score, not because he did bad, but just because he struggled. You know, he got bullied a lot for being so pathetic. Even though he wasn't a complete pushover, like, he could hold his own decently in his base form, but because he was unable, like, go on to go Super Saiyan and stuff for the longest time, he got kind of picked on a lot for that. Especially given he was supposed to be this great prodigy son of, you know, the best patrollers in the whole time patrol, so he always carried it upon himself to try and live up to, you know, his parents' example. Free armor, anyone? But anyway, how that goes, you'll eventually find out, you know, later in the story. Ugh, excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, you guys requested an origin video. I'm sorry, it's not that interesting of an origin story. I'm not usually great at backstories. This is kind of one I kind of was making up as I went. So I hope it's not awful and that you bear with me. I'm still working on backstory stuff. But yeah, our lovely character here, as you'll find out later on, there are some unknowns to him, even about his own family. Like, he doesn't even know his dad is a descendant of Planet Vegeta, let alone Planet Absalon. Let alone that about his uncle or some other people you'll discover later on. But with that said, I hope you guys at least somewhat enjoyed this video. If so, you know what to do, you know, hit like, comment, subscribe, all that weird stuff. Ring the bell. I will have your next roleplay storytelling video up when I can. Or, well, made. Because I pretty much upload the same day I make them. I am sorry. I am going to call this for now, so I can go to bed. And get some rest. And hopefully not catch a cold. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really do. I know it's not the greatest fleshed out story, but I wanted to at least give you a little insight since you requested it on our dude's past, like how he's, who his mom was, who his dad is, a little bit about them. I mean, you're gonna learn more about him later on, but at least figure out how he came to be who he is, why he has so many of the issues he has, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoy. I will catch you all next time. Till then, stay safe, and God bless you all. I really appreciate you guys. God bless you all. So, till then, catch you next time.